Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of The Great On Point, which is a production of our parent company, Focus on Liberia. I'm Jerome Gamer, your host. And on the other side of North America is my co-host, the
I'm
gentleman
George.
that represents the Liberty Party and the CPP,
No,
and a
no.
great man. And he's going to set his
I,
record
I
straight.
am I
Mr.
am
Tulip,
just a political commentator. I don't represent Liberty Party.
welcome to On Point. Welcome. You started this fight. You started this broadcast with a fight. You
Yeah,
know
I don't
the
have a
fight.
problem.
Now let's go. How are you doing, my brother? How's the family? And how
Uh,
is Canada?
Canada is all right. And point of correction to our faithful audience out there, our faithful viewers out there. I am not here on behalf of Liberty Party or the CPP. I'm a Liberian who believe Liberia first before each and every one of our political nuances or our individual loyalties. I believe that Liberia transcends all political parties or political loyalties and is greater, and she needs all our support. So, and I also believe that no political party has a solution. No one political party has a solution to Liberia. I believe that a visionary will rise up to take Liberia to where she's supposed to go, not a political party.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you, thank you, thank you very much, Mr. Tule. You have always come ready to fight, gun blazing. And let's get started with this. And we got some very interesting topics that I know you have interest in. Let me begin with the first one, and this is right within your alley. We are talking about the fight for the heart and soul of the Liberty Party. I think you know a thing or two about the Liberty Party. Who is in control of the Liberty Party? And what makes Mr. Musa ability so powerful instantly? We will delve into that. And hopefully, those of you who are members of the Liberty Party, you may disagree with me or agree with some of the things we are going to say about the plight of the Liberty Party. They are fighting. There's a major fight going on for the hearts and souls of the Liberty Party. Then we are going to go to a major development that just happened last week. The president had broken ground for a new playground, an athletic park, an amusement park, and it's going to be held on South Beach. What's the significance of having a playground, a library, a soccer pitch, a basketball pitch, and a gymnasium on South Beach? What's the significance? Is it time for atonement? We're going to delve into that. And finally, we are going to delve into protest, 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 which is now basically the order of the day in Liberia. Is this a sign of maturity in our democracy? Is this time for us to say our democracy have arrived? We have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom to amass. Are we also, by expressing our freedom of speech and assembly, are we denying the public also their freedom of movement? We're going to delve into that. Mr. Tulip, let's go to the first one. We are talking about a major fight that is going on now in the Liberty Party. We are talking about the souls and minds and the hearts of the Liberty Party. What is the fight all about? Does the chairman, the incoming chairman, or the present chairman has an exclusive power or unilateral power to amend the Constitution and bylaws of the Liberty Party to make these changes unilaterally, at the same time crying for democracy and calling this particular government dictatorial? And your take on the issue, my friend?
Um, I want to give background. This
Yes.
issue is very close to my heart. I want to give background before delving into the situation, and I would like to lay a preamble. And I want you to give me the chance to be able to lay the preamble. We all know that Liberty Party was the party of the late Councillor Charles Walker Bromsky, and we are aware that he poured his heart, his soul, his life into establishing an institution that will survive his passing, and that will become an institution, and his legacy will remain. Um, we know we were around when we saw how Madame Saliv used her office and to frustrate the efforts of Councillor Bromsky in many ways. We all know how she even promised to appoint him to, I think, the ECOWAS. And then after the election, she sent Gabriel McIntosh instead. Which was a slap in the face of a man who had so much great pride and so much self-awareness. She did a lot of stuff to Councillor Bromsky that I don't want to use this platform right now to enumerate. But this is where I'm going with this. Before Councillor Bromsky died, before he passed, when he knew he was sick, everyone knows when you're sick, you got doctor diagnosis and everything, and you know that your health is failing. He made Senator Yombi Kanga the political leader of the party, and the party went to convention in 2018, and Senator Steve Zago, Lufa County, was elected as the chairman of the party. And the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, to be specific, Article 79E, it states that all right. So the Article 79E states that every political party has the right to elect national leaders once every 6 years. Once every 6 years. So given that our party present our party present constitution that was adopted in 2015 and in place and filed at NEC. NEC has that's the official party constitution that NEC had. The 2018 election was held based on that constitution. The 2018 election established Senator Zago and other people. He's also a councillor. Zago and other people in office. He was the chairman of the party. So fast forward quickly now. After the demise of Councillor Bromsky, there was a coup because Musa Belete, now under the aegis of Madame Saliv. Madame Saliv, one of her biggest fight is to stop any persecution any persecutor from looking into her activities preceding her ascendancy into office as president of Liberia. While she's president of Liberia, the acts of corruption and malfeasance that she and her children carry on, and then after that, everything that have been done, her main plan is to stop anybody, and that included Councillor Bromsky and personally Joseph Boakai, stop anybody that will hold her accountable for her acts against Liberia. So what she did was because it was like everyone knew. Let me go here. Everyone knew ECOWAS, the international community wanted Councillor Bromsky to succeed Madame Saliv. You saw the amount of cars that all of a sudden Councillor Bromsky had at his disposal at the party during the last 2017 election that George Weah won. That election, those cars were given by members of the international community to help Bromsky conduct his campaign. The reason why is because there was a national consensus that to move Liberia to the next level, it would have been better for Councillor Bromsky to succeed Madame Saliv. Unfortunately, because the issue of protection for she and her children was more important than the trajectory or the future of the country, she decided to support whoever she supported at the end of the day. But where I've gone with this is this. The arrangement that the international community going to Madame Saliv and said, hey, we want you to support this person. She placed Belete in a very, what we call, she used Belete as in her negotiation. She sent Belete to work with Councillor Bromsky. And because Belete is somewhat guy. He's a guy who can get around. He has access to cash. He was able to ingratiate himself in the party. So fast forward to today, Belete went on with a coup that was in contravention of the 2015 or how you call it, party constitution, and also Article 79E of the Liberian Constitution. So Belete had the coup. Unfortunately, other people went along with it. They had a election in 2021 in January, which removed Zago and had Belete elected as chairman of the party. Now, Belete is chairman of the party, but he didn't stop there. In that same election, there should have been an amendment, and that amendment to the Constitution should have been filed with NEC. After NEC receipt of that within 10 days, after NEC acknowledged receipt of that amendment, which is also the amendment to the Liberty Party 2015 Liberty Party Constitution that NEC has in her possession. After the receipt of that amendment, before Liberty Party has the right to go ahead, and if NEC gives them the go ahead to have an election that is in contravention of Article 79E of the Liberian National Constitution. So what happened in January, the removal of Steve Zago and the illegal election of Musa Belete, that there was an amendment. What Musa Belete did, what was agreed on, the minutes of the amendment, the written record of the amendment was changed. Musa Belete changed the amendment, the amendment. He changed the minutes. He changed everything that was agreed on. He did not take it to the political leader for her to review it before submitting it to NEC. What he did, he seconded members of the executive committee by giving them perks, cars, and money and stuff. And they all went ahead and they acknowledged that constitutional amendment. Senate notarized it without showing it to Senator Kanga and sent it to NEC. Now, I am speaking as an individual. I've done my own research. I'm not speaking on behalf of Belete. I'm not speaking on behalf of Steve Zago. I'm not speaking on behalf of Yombli Kanga. I'm speaking on behalf of my dead political father, Councillor Charles Walker Bromsky, and I'm speaking on behalf of every member of the Liberty Party that sweated, that gave blood and tears for that party since 2005, since 2005 to today. We struggled, we fought, we saw the pain, the agony that Councillor Bromsky went through. We saw the struggles, we saw the abuse he received from the hands of Madam Selim. Today, she's using what is known as cash violence to take over Liberty Party, to turn the party votes over to what's his name, Cummings, to give Liberty Party support to Cummings so that he can head the CPP, so that he can become the standard bearer of the CPP, and then win the election, and then take over Liberia, and then protect her from persecution, protect her from legal scrutiny for her actions. So This is in nutshell. This is where we are.
Okay, now let me push back a little bit, because I have a lot of information, true or not true, that someone is telling me in my ear that you are actually trying to protect Darius Dillon and Yombli Kanga, because those were the two corporates that actually sold this party to Mr. Belete, and Belete made it clear that he financed Dara Dillon's partially, almost 90% financed from his pocket. Dara Dillon's political campaign. He made it clear on Spoon TV. He made it clear everywhere he went, and he said that he financed that, and everybody knew that he, Darius Dillon and Yombli Kanga, met in a smoking room and consummated the deal, overthrew Steve Zago, and gave the authority to Mr. Belete to take over the political party. And after he spent that much money and that much resource, he felt that the party belongs to him. He moved, the first thing he did was move the party headquarters to some unknown place where he had few cars. And this Liberty Party now belonged to an individual who is a convicted felon on the international and local levels. and you are here trying to protect the image or images of Darius Dillon and Yombli Kanga for Liberty Party when you know the Liberty Party is as corrupt from Yombli Kanga down to Darius Dillon and now your new chair, Musa Ability. What you got to say about that?
Yeah, you make me laugh a lot of times because what you're doing is that you're just throwing things on the wall hoping that some will stick. That's what you just did just now because you started first with me protecting Dillon and Yombli Kanga. Then from there you went on to Dillon and Yombli Kanga selling Liberty Party. I said to say it's their property to hold on. You said they sold it to Musa Ability as if to say is theirs to sell. And then from there again, you came up to say that Liberty Party is inherently corrupt because Musa Ability is a convicted felon. Too much to take over there. So I will
let's do it one. Can you deep? Is Musa Ability a convicted felon? Yes or no?
But that's not the issue. We're not talking No, but excuse me.
You are a member of a very corrupt organization. That's what I'm telling you. Go ahead.
Are we going to do this today?
Corrupt from the bottom up.
Are we really going to do this today, or are we going to try and inform our listeners and our viewers, those who are taking their time out to listen to us? Are we going to try and have a civilized conversation, or are we going to start throwing accusation and
I'm asking you a question.
We came to discuss. Listen, we're discussing the issue. I don't want us to go into the informal. We remain formal until we can get to the place where we become informal. Because you twice. Listen, like I said,
is Musa Ability the chairman of the Liberty Party?
That's not the issue.
No, but that's the issue
we are discussing here is. Excuse me. The issue we are discussing here is the internal issues in Liberty Party.
Yeah,
So we will not go into discussing whether Musa Ability had legal issues where he credited money he didn't pay. Listen, let me tell you something. Musa Ability had accusation from the international community, from FIFA. That's accusation. He never went to
No. He was convicted. He was convicted, not accusation.
With FIFA took him to court.
Yes.
FIFA took him to court.
And he pled guilty and bargained to repay. That's guilt.
FIFA took him. Which court FIFA took Musa Ability to?
FIFA has its own jurisdictions. He was found guilty of theft.
Listen, excuse me. Hold on.
Musa Ability also found guilty.
You see. This is why I said we discuss the Liberty Party issue. We'll not go.
Let's go.
Guess why? Because listen.
They are intertwined.
If you have your internal, I'll give you something clear today. You run an organization. If you accuse somebody, let me say this to you today. If you accuse somebody within your organization of misappropriation of funds, and the person agreed to you and say, yes, I did misappropriate the fund, it's not a legal binding. It has no reflection on the person's legal records. I know you know. But you have the ability to twist things. Yeah. So FIFA never took Musa Ability to court. FIFA had taken other people to court and they were arrested. Musa Ability was never arrested. Musa Ability is not under any injunction from traveling. He can go anywhere he wants to go in this world. So I'm not here to defend. You see, that's why I told you, let's stick to the issue, because when you start throwing things to the wall hoping they will stick, I'm under obligation to defend my party. And we came today to educate our listeners. We didn't come for me to start defending issues in Liberty Party. The issue here is this: Madam Salif is the hands behind the current status of confusion in Liberty Party. She used her maternal influence over certain people within the party to assist Musa Ability in becoming chairman of the party. If you know how Liberia works, you will not even argue with what I just said. Some people were not very far-sighted in giving Musa Ability some of the support that he needed. But let me tell you this today. Musa Ability actually didn't need support from anyone. Musa Berete worked with the people who are going, the delegates who are going to do the voting at the election. That's who he used. He used incentives, motorbikes, money to give it to them so that they will vote him in office as chairman of the party. What they did in January was in contravention of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia and the party, the 2015 Constitution of the Liberty Party. So it was illegal. Musa Berete, by law, is an illegal chairman of Liberty Party. What he's doing, but now everybody will prepare for Musa Berete to remain there, okay, and remain the party chairman. Even me myself, I was waiting to give him because there was to fight. It was too hard, so it's like, okay, let him just remain there. But what he went ahead to do was to nullify the office of the political leader of the party by amending the national constitution of the Liberty Party and sending it to NEC unilaterally with in conjunction or in cahoots with those on the executive council that supports him because he has paid them. So Dillon and Yombly had nothing to do with this. Yombly went, from what I gather, the political leader got the amended filings from NEC that actually placed Musa Berete on par in terms of having equal authority with the political leader of the party. The reason why I will agree with you in a sense, this is criminal, this is illegal, and it only shows you who Musa Berete is. Musa Berete is a charlatan who will do anything to get his way. And he is not a politician. He's not a political player. He's a businessman, a crooked businessman who uses means to get ahead. So he used means thinking that Liberty Party, we will all go to sleep and he would take over our political party and he will support, what's his name? Cummings. And he will get Cummings elected and then Manasseh will be protected. So I hand it back to you. I'm not here to support Musa Berete. If you ask me, Musa Berete he was taken to court in Liberia. The court found him guilty of tax evasion.
They did?
Yeah, they did. Guilty of tax evasion. And it was not just, this is you receiving tax money that you're supposed to forward to the revenue, Liberia government revenue account. And then instead of forwarding the money to Liberia government revenue account, you take it and put it in your pocket. You use it for your means because you feel Manasseh is in power, you can have control, you can have a protection anytime, any day. That's the kind of person that Musa Berete is. And like I said, Manasseh is the one that got Musa Berete elected because she was the one that was able to convince key voices within Liberty Party to stand down and let Musa Berete carry on his coup of removing Steve Zago so that he will assume control of the party. And then after assuming control of the party, he will now, because you can see, bro, before, as soon as Musa Berete became chairman of the party, he started going around with Cummings. He started doing a national tour with Cummings. No other person, you don't see Liberty Party doing national tour with Joe Boakai because Liberty Party is an individual member of the CPP. The time will come where we will assert our role as the second largest political constituency within the CPP. The time will come we assert our role to that. So Manasseh used Edwin Snow, okay? It was a whole coup just to remove Steve Zago. And the thing is this, what we are saying here is, Councillor Bronski, let me give you this. It is a known fact that Senator Zago did not support Liberty Party in Lofa County in 2017. He had a rift because of the same Musa Berete. Musa Berete supplanted him in Lofa. So Zago did not support Liberty Party in Lofa. But guess what? Even with that, Councillor Bronski he nominated and supported Zago becoming chairman of the party in 2018. Think about it. Bronski was on the ballot in 2017 to become as a candidate for presidency. Zago did not support Liberty Party in Vonjama district, okay, because he was angry with the way things were done. Because Musa Bele was the campaign chair, so Zago was upset with the party. He did not support the party. After the loss of the election in 2018, Bronski nominated the same Zago to be chairman of the party. Think about it. Why would Councillor Bronski do it to a man who did not support him? Why would he make him chairman of the party? Because he knew at heart Zago is a Liberty Party supporter, and he's a diehard Liberty Party member, partisan. So he became the party chair, and he should have remained the party chair until the constitutional provision elapsed 6 years. So from 2018 to 2024. So even the 2023 election supposed to meet Zago as head of Liberty Party. But what happened? Because of means, when you have a country with poor people, you have a party, all our political parties have poor people. So those who have little cash can lord it over people. Okay. And can be able to determine outcomes that will actually go against them because they have cash. We know it now. So that's it.
Okay, well, everybody can see. I'll give you enough time to talk about it because this is something that is dear to your heart, and you're very passionate about your Liberty Party, and rightfully so. That those of you who were there from the very beginning, that you say your blood and your sweat and your minds you put into this to have, like you said, the charlatans, and I still disagree with you that you want to excuse Dela and Yomli Kanga, which we know they had a part to play in this because Mr. Billington made it clear that he spent a significant part of his money to elect this guy. But let's move on to the next.
But electing me, but brother, we are in the party. If you elect me, that does not mean that I sold the party to you.
Listen, my friend, you know about the political, the wheeling and dealing. I support you and I get something in return.
Yeah, but that does not mean it. That does not make it.
We have spent enough time on this. Let's go to the next thing here. And I want Liberians to get involved because this is very, very significant. It has very little to do with partisan. It has something to do with Liberia. We're going to be looking at political and sociological symbolism. This past week, we saw the president of the Republic of Liberia, President Weah, with funding from the international community building a park on South Beach, where we know that the 13 men were executed. They are building something really beautiful. It's a gymnasium, first of its kind in the Republic of Liberia. We're going to have an indoor gymnasium to be followed by a soccer pitch, playground, and the like. Now here we are. What do you see? Is this an atone? Is it time for us to atone? Does this have any significance to it? Is a gymnasium, children's playground, is it significant or does it mean anything to you? What do you extrapolate from this message?
Nothing.
Okay.
Let me say something to you today.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome Gamer is the father of his home. You know the reason why even from honor Madam Salif, or even a child Bronski have become president, there's certain kind of developmental accomplishment I would never even praise. I don't even want to talk about. You know the reason why?
Mm.
Because it's just like a father coming home. I go tell my man, oh, I can pay my rent. Big deal. I can buy food for my family. Big deal. I can carry my wife car to wash and fuel it for her. Big deal. It's the same way I look at this is belated. It's a good thing that foreigners will say, okay, let's do this work. But I don't want to give it a lot of credence because big deal. It's belated. Is it important that our children have a playground? Oh, great. It's of great importance. With the gymnasium help, it's timely, okay? Because YMCA is privately owned. It has never been developed. There are no real investment have been done to upgrade the facility. If we come, I think they should tear it down and build an office block in that space. If we build a gymnasium that can take maybe 5,000 to 10,000 fans and with a nice playing floor, good facility, air conditioning, everything, good. But what I'm saying is These are not the issues that move me, that take me. What will take me? I want to see economic policies being implemented. When you do something in agriculture, then you have me praising you and really, really saying great, great, great. Because when we look at the population of Monrovia, is about maybe 1.2, 1.4 million. How many persons have access to those facilities? And look where it is. It is out of the way. All right. So it's for the PHP people, the central town people, and stuff like that. Even with that, it'll be restricted in terms of use. Because if you allow everybody to just come on the facility, it will break down in no time. So how does it contribute to the we're looking at the population that will access it, but how does it contribute to the improvement of the material well-being of the Liberian people? It's a very small gesture, if you ask me. So I'm not going to, it's good. Let me just say this. It's a good thing, but,
yeah, but
it's not something
Mr. Tule, I'm asking you, maybe because I'm a sociologist and you are a technocrat, but everything in society have meanings. We name our children, we name our buildings, we name our bridges, we name our cities. There are meanings to everything we do. This particular spot has a lot of meanings. It has a lot of significance to us, Liberian. This is where the heart of the coup, when you talk about the coup in Liberia, people say a lot about it, but when it comes to the 13 men being executed on that beach, it has a special spot in the heart of Liberian. So for us, sociologists who are into the social thinking, somebody may have sat around some table and say, listen, for this place, as gruesome as this thing was, and the reputation that this place had, maybe this is time for us to lighten up, to enshroud this place, to bring the children to play, to bring the people together. So this has some significance to it. But obviously, I'm not saying you're saying this from an opposition standpoint. You are saying this from a technical standpoint because that's who you are. You are a technical person. But this has a special meaning. The site alone. When I saw the schematics, the architectural drawing of what they have done or intend to do over there for $10 or $50 million or $20 million that they're going to spend, I think it's well spent. And I think it is time for Liberians to atone. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren, whose great-grandparents or fathers were executed there, and those who got affected, this is a time for us to come, pray, atone, play, and discuss.
Let me ask you a question. Is that the purpose for the facility being built? Is the purpose of the facility being built an act of attunement?
Well, this is why
that is what you're reading into it.
No, this is what like I said, like you and I are talking. You do not represent the Liberty Party. You do not represent the CPP. So am I. I do not represent any political parties here, although you know where I stand. You're a member of the Liberty Party, but you don't speak for the Liberty Party. I am unabashed member of the defender of the ruling party, but I do not represent them. They don't know me. They don't know who I am. So I speak because I have knowledge of certain things like you are. What I'm saying there is in where we are, because I worked 10 years as CEO of the United Way. And usually when we are building parks, when they are giving grants, we look for things that will have significance to our community, that will add some either cultural values. And I'll give you an example. This week, we have a group of folks they call the Highwaymen. They were the first Black artists in Florida. They specialized in drawing the landscape, the beautiful landscape of Florida. And they got so internationally recognized that the state has begun the campaign to do what they call a specialized license plate for the Highwaymen. And that will happen. When it happens, 30% of all monies generated from that license plate is going to building a Black American museum to be built in the part of town where Black people frequent. Okay. So it's adding value to that. So this is where I'm coming from. And I'm saying to myself, if the international, whoever made that pitch, so gave us $20 million, we want to build this site. I assume when they were making the presentation, they would say, this particular site is where we want to build it. The people who are the funders on the other side will ask, why this site or not this site? And you have to make the case. And I assume that these people were saying, listen, this place has a gory memory or history.
Are they building it on the beach where the execution took place?
Yes, yes.
So one question, do you know, I mean, how are they going to protect it from the erosion, sea erosion?
From the schematic that I saw, yes.
Okay. All right. From
so this is why I'm asking you as a thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think even if the president and his men were not thinking about it, don't you think as citizens?
No, I don't even think it that way, because the thing is this: to attune for the actions on the beach that day, April 12th, 1980, to attune for that, and to attune for all the other issues we had where people in mass numbers lost their lives. People above 10 losing lives, looting, Nimba raid, the different fake coups that Doe carried up all the way to 1990, losing almost 300,000 of our compatriots, many of them without graves till today. We cannot use physical structures to attune. What would bring an attunement is that we begin to act in ways that would tell them that the loss of their lives were not in vain.
Well,
or it's not in vain.
Yeah, when
that would be, for me, that would be the most poignant act of attunement, to tell them that you die, but your death is not in vain, because I'm going to live my life in acknowledgement of the fact that your blood was spilled so that I can be able to have a better tomorrow. And I want to take advantage of the opportunities that you die that I will provide. Okay, because let's isolate April 12, 1980. April 12, 1980. April 12, 1980, was it, we can ask a lot of questions. Was it needful? I believe it was needful. But was it ill-timed? I believe it was ill-timed. Why? Because I believe that coup killed the most progressive president we have ever had in our nation's history. That coup killed a man who was atoning for the sins of his fathers by taking concrete actions that uplifted the lives of the ordinary citizens. We know about the trilateral agreements establishing the ADPs. We know about Agremenco establishing rice production in Liberia. We know fully well about the LPMCs. So we can go on and list the things that he had done, and all geared towards the hinterland, all geared towards working with farmers. We know the the Cooperative Development Agency was established under his leadership also. So he did, we know Mato mattresses, we know total involvement for higher heights. He went into, so if we were talk about attunement, let's live our lives in Liberia, or in acknowledgement of his legacy. He died. We all sang the song, Native Woman Born Soya Killed Toba. I said to say it was a good thing. We didn't know that we were cursing ourselves because we had killed the most progressive leader ever. Or man resisted by his own and misunderstood by us, the country people. That's what we did in April. Because the truth is, it wasn't us that killed him. We all know he died because he made a speech at the UN General Assembly, and because of his Pan-African work, especially when he intervened in the issue with Rhodesia and helped Mugabe and the rest of them to establish Zimbabwe. The white man saw it and said, "This guy we cannot allow this guy to." Then when he was also instrumental in the advancement of the non-aligned movement. But when he made out of that speech in 79 at the UN General Assembly, the General Assembly, that was when he sealed his fate. They had to kill him. So when they killed him, our Bayokodes got on the street and we all sang the song, Native Woman Born Soya Killed Toba. So I don't believe the erecting of a particular sports facility can attune, But like I said, it's in the right place. It can be, we can put a plaque and say, oh, this is where 13 men were killed. But why did they die? In promulgation of what? They said they were promulgating an act of the PRC that caused those men to die. They killed them because of mass corruption or whatever else. And we have never changed. Today, we have a bunch of auditors are dying in Liberia. Me, I say more.
Well, listen to this. For those of us who believe in symbolism, and as you know, a nation of our size, or any nation, is birthed in symbolism. Our flag, our history, our money, our preamble, our seal. These are things that create a nation. So symbolism is very, very important. Is on the beach having a park and having young folk, the next generation, coming together and having discussion of have to our atonement? Hell yes. Yes, we could have built these parks in different part of the nation, in every county where atrocity took place. We could also go back to Sino County, where the 78 chiefs and kings of the Southeast were murdered at a supposed peace conference. We can also go to Lofa County, where all the bandit kings were executed, summarily executed, to extinguish the entire leadership of that great kingdom. We need to atone. This is what we are saying. Symbolism means more than meets the eye. We need to confront our past.
But
Jerome, yet I see this particular site, and those who gave us the money to fund it is a great start, and we are headed in the right direction. Now you talk about Native woman born soldier, the kill, and I also saw that in 1977 or 1997 when the slogan came out, "You killed my mom, you killed my pa," I will vote for him. We have seen these are all byproduct of bad education. When you have 10% of your population can actually read and write, this is what you get. People just coming from war, they have just killed your mother, your father. In some instances, your entire family, you are the lone survivor. And you say, you killed my pa, you killed my mom, I will vote for you. So we've seen this. What we are saying here is we are the survivors of what's happening here. We have to find a way around these things to atone, to bring our folks together, to discuss, to come up with ways to strategize as to how we move forward.
Mr. Gaiman,
you and I agree on one thing. Once the economy improves, it will be the tide that lifts all boats. And we have to do that together. And this
Mr. Gaiman,
is in the right direction.
Mr. Gaiman, you see, the thing about it is this. You're committing the same crime to me that Isaac Tukpa did. And I told him one time, I said, Isaac Tukpa, George Weah will not use your head to think. So everything you're saying it from your head, and he's not going to use your head to think. So stop speaking as if to say he's going to use your head or your ideas or your experience or your smarts or your brilliance or your education to govern Liberia. What you are saying, who is articulating this thing? Who is saying now that, look, this is leadership. This is what we need to do in Liberia. We need to move our developmental needle. But before we can move our developmental, or as we move our developmental needle, we must also look at our psychosocial balance in our society. We must bring parity. We must instill the sense of well-being. Let the Liberian dream live. Let all Liberians come together. Let's forget the past. Let us live today in atonement for the blood that was shed in our land. Who is doing it? Who from your side is selling this? The biggest problem is this. Listen, I'll give you a common example. Since the ship, the canoe crashed or sunk and people died, your leader has not spoken to the Liberian people. One press conference. Speak at liberty. Don't take questions. Just address the people and say, this is where we are. I'm going to take these steps and it won't happen again. Let me give you these assurances. Mr. Gaiman,
listen.
I know you have ideas. My point to you is this. The team you support, they've been stung by the bug and they are affected by the virus that creates a schism that creates a gulf between those who are in government and those who are being governed. There is no correlation between the two. Those who are in government, they are existing as if to say no one else exists in Liberia. So they make decisions. A typical example would be the mausoleum that McGill built for his mom. I'm just telling you, there's a disconnect between those who lead and those who are being led.
Mr. Tule, we understand where you're coming from. This is why we have this show. It's not only to castigate, it's not only to accuse, but it's actually a medium of exchange to come up with some ideas. Those who change the world are not only those who critique, but all those who also come up with solutions. And you're hearing from my side and from your side, we are getting somewhere. But let's go to the last piece because we're running out of time here. Let's look at the history of protests in Liberia. We are seeing, according to some, we are seeing more protests daily or weekly or annually in Liberia. Some are saying there are more protests now than ever before. And some of us who are sociologists who understand the social culture of dissent know that there have always been protests, but because of our separation and technology, we never knew that the folks in 1913 in Bandiland were protesting, or the people in 1938 were protesting in Sino. We didn't know that the Bassa people were revolting because we were disconnected. Now with the advent of technology, we are seeing every child, everybody has something called cell phone and going live. So are we saying now that there are more protests today than there's ever been, or we are more aware of the protests? And if that being the case, does that say something about our democracy? Are we more tolerant now of each other as opposed to 1979 or 78 during the riot when people got killed, or more recently in 2011 when the Ellen Johnson government approached the sedition on the compound and several people got killed? Are we more tolerant? Are we more technologically advanced, or the combination of both?
We don't even have enough protests in Liberia. If you ask me, there's not enough protests.
Okay, so
we sat down here. We sat down. Our people sat down. Members of the House and the Senate took how many million? Over 3.5, almost $4 million, right?
Right.
Think what $4 million can do if it's spent in the right place. If they take me or take Jerome Gibman right now and say spend this money to improve certain key critical infrastructure in Liberia, the first thing that will come to my mind, two things. I will divide our money into two. One will go to education, the next will go to healthcare.
That's correct.
That's why I will divide our money to two. If they give me any more money, I will buy ambulances and I will buy fire trucks. But I will not only buy a fire truck. If they give me any more money, you see, the thing is this. Look, if you have ideas, if you have the desire to benefit your people, you every breathing moment. Look, listen, Sankara, when they anytime they will put microphone in front of Sankara, all that will come out of him will be progressivism. Nothing else will come out of him because he dreamed, he ate, he slept. The conversations he had was about the ideologies that he espoused, the ideology that consumed him. The question here is this: why aren't we hearing these ideological musings from our present core of political leaders in Liberia? Why aren't we hearing ideology? I heard that my girl, I can call her Big Sis, Senator Kanga, I heard her standing before the Senate and saying, we are not, by the Constitution, we are not the implementers of budgets. So we should never allow ourselves to receive any more money from the executive to use because our people are up in arms. They are against this. Listen, we're supposed to be picketing, protesting the national legislature until they change their ways and they start holding everyone else accountable. That's why I say we don't have enough protest.
And Mr. Tule, I know the audience doesn't like to hear me agree with you or anything because the Liberty Party folks will think that I am now Liberty Party partisan or George truly agrees with Mr. Gavin. I mean, he's gravitating towards the CDC. But on this particular issue, nobody, all my friends that are in the House and Senate, none can tell me, including the Darrell Dillon, you know I've been very critical, but I think he's a crook and still do. But they all, I'm talking about all 30 senators and all representatives on this particular issue, they are crooks. Because there is no way that we know that the legislature before this one created the list, which is the governmental arms to carry out project that will be identified by the people in their district. All the representative have to do is say, my people need a library. Put it in the budget and list builds it and makes the report to the House. Instead, you change the nomenclature of your own law and say, don't give the money to Liz, put it in my pocket, and they put it directly into your pocket. And
yeah, brother, let me say something to you, Mr. Gavin. Do you know who George we have sent to Liz? Liz is dysfunctional.
No, but that's not the point. Even we didn't get to that point. My friend, my own representative, my own brother, Matthew Joe, in as progressive as he is, I had to confront him and say, Matthew, you know I love you and I will support you. You've been very progressive. But where did this come from? And not only that, my Senator Nyombli Kanga, the reason I'm upset with her, I said, Nyombli Kanga, it is not sufficient for you to go on the floor and condemn or give the money.
She didn't take take the second payment.
But what I was expecting her to do is to proffer a bill that said they should never happen again, and then they put it on the floor.
Okay, but guess what? It will fall flat. It will fall flat.
But that's fine. Be on the record. At least you tried.
At least she did something. Give her that. Give her that.
No, this is what I agree.
She's not for CDC, right?
I agree with you. You got this affinity with mediocrity. I don't like this.
Oh, but then, okay. But then who from your party? The whole thing, your party.
None.
Okay, but then at least, listen, at least she stood up to speak.
No.
She did not advance a bill. I agree. But guess what? At least she stood up to speak. That's not being mediocre. That takes guts.
No, that takes nothing. Read the bill and disband this nonsense, because they may turn their $15,000 away, but guess what? The next bill that's coming, that $15,000 is still there, and we don't want it.
Let me ask you something.
We don't want
the president who signed that budget, the supplementary budget. Who signed it?
The president signed it.
Okay, so why don't you hold him responsible?
No,
why is he abdicating
the leadership? The leadership of the nation.
Hold on. Yeah, Papa, hold on, Sumo. Why is he abdicating his role? He understands. Doesn't he know the constitutional provisions?
No,
hold on, Papi. Doesn't he have lawyers in his office to tell you that this one is against the Constitution?
Too late.
What?
I'm just telling you that the government includes the executive, the legislative,
but that is why I said we don't have enough protests.
They are all guilty. And we shouldn't give anybody a break.
No. We will give Nyombli props, because guess
what? No.
Hold on. We can cover this. Let me tell you now. Yeah, okay. Thank God for being crook. George Weah is a thief.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay, then fine. Okay, then we can move on. Let's move on now.
Mr. Tule, we have to agree on something for one, and we
agree that George Weah is a thief.
Let's go to the protest. We agree that in the past, let's look at the Coleman family, the Coleman father and son duo that protested against Tubman. And Tubman, you know what happened to the Colemans? They gunned them down, and the Trumper charges that they were fighting a gun battle and they died.
Yeah.
We saw the amount of protests that happened in 1979. You saw when the police department got caught off guard, and they talk about shooting into the crowd and killing few students or few civilians, that this thing would have gone away, and that never materialized. So we are talking about protests here. I know, and I agree with you. We need to protest.
Papa,
we need to protest.
Can I say something in deference to the leadership? Listen, I'm looking at the comments while we're talking. I know we're supposed to go to the comments. I'm trying to see if Dennis is in the back. We know right now he's not there, so we're waiting for him. But until then, I saw a comment just now that came to my mind a few days ago. I never told you. These guys, okay, Dennis is there. And listen. These guys took almost $4 million when they don't have functioning bathroom or correct running water system. Papa, let me ask you a question. How much are they construction in Liberia for years? How much it will cost us to build a water tower that can take maybe 5,000 gallons up on the grounds of the capital, and then always make sure that we have water trucks coming in on a daily basis to pump water up there so that they can have water. Then you put a pressure tank there to run the entire building. Once the generator is on, every faucet, every camo, we have running water, because when you don't have running water, it's hard to keep bathroom clean. It's very hard to keep bathroom clean. Yeah. So the biggest conundrum, one of the things, I don't know if they have it now. Please, those who are listening, if there's water on the Capitol building, okay, yeah, I know. Okay, if there's water on the Capitol building in terms of a tower built to hold water and then supply the building, please let us know in the comment section. But I don't believe that there is one. I know that the bathrooms are filthy and everything. Why didn't they use some of that money? Just fix your house where you stay first, where you spend all your time.
Don't begin at home. Correct. Priority begins at home.
Your offices, when somebody comes, they gotta go to the bathroom. What kind of bathroom are they walking into? Okay, Buffer Chambers used to sit with me for hours. We castigate, criticize Madam Salif. He's now Speaker of the House of Representatives, third in line of succession, and he's an abject failure. Okay, he has done nothing to move the developmental needle or to move the needle in terms of the fiduciary duty and the constitutional pejorative as the national legislature. Nothing he has done to do that. So just to even face bathrooms where you have running water is a must that the national legislature have running water. It's a must. It's a must, my people. It's a must. If you want to collect salary for 6 months, you might not collect salary, but build a tower and get trucks. They got people, all those companies in Monrovia that have tankers hauling water to Central Town. You can have them hauling water in that place, and you have that building having water. It's a shame to have people toting gallon to the speaker's office to flush Camo.
Let's go to the comment section real quick, and then we'll go to our closing statement. We want to be out of here no later than 4:15. So, Mr. John,
5:15.
Okay, 5:15. Excuse me. Cecilia Logan. Okay, let's go to Patient Blade Ator, watching from Lakeville, Maryland. Thank you very much for Minnesota. Thank you for listening. You lie, George, not so. George, somebody's attacking.
Hold on, let me say something. When you say I lie, because we will not get to your comments immediately, can you address the issue that I'm lying about, please?
Thank you. And from Jim Smith from Grand Bassa County, he said he's watching from Buchanan. Well, thank you very much. Flomo 8700. Do you? Again, he meant to say, do you have any evidence to prove that the international community wanted Bronsky to be the next president of Liberia? Can you answer that real quick?
Of course, we know the international community provided pickups, and we also had the pickup even more than the people needed. That was money that they infused. That's how Ability went to the Liberty Party.
Okay, this is for you again, Mr. Tule. Can you please answer the question of corruption for Mr. Ability?
But I said the man corrupt. So what do you want me to say again? The man corrupt.
Jerome, have Musa Ability been convicted by any court in or outside Liberia? Oh, come on, you talk. Go ahead.
Yeah. Locally, the local courts found him guilty. Tax evasion. That is a felony. Mr. James has subsequently to get what he wanted by changing topics. He changed the topic. He always does that. Musa, Cristiano King. Musa can't attend any visa game. He's prohibited by law. We're not saying go to game. We say travel. Timothy Nair. FIFA only conducted an internal investigation that provided his opinion that Musa Bello was culpable of misappropriation of entrusted funds, not a court. I said it to him. Thank you. Now, is it now? Yeah. So, by your explanation, why we're able to go through this, or through all this hell just to protect Madam Salif? If you don't know, before we go ahead, I don't know who the foreign guy is. I always don't like to address people who are not bold enough to show their face, or to show who they really are. If you think you're man, come forward, let people see who you are. Don't hide yourself behind a name. Foreign guy, you Liberian, you call yourself foreign guy. Anyway, yes, Musa Belete has been functioning under the aegis and the direction of Madam Sally for years now. So don't even go there. Steve Sion, the corruption incident at the IRA it's supposed to be during the uniparty-led government. Musa Belete was involved. Yes, it's true. He went to court because of that. Let's go ahead, big brother. Let's go ahead, brother Dennis. Did they reach out to the families of the 13 people killed? No. Orlando Chinwe. What you call fake coup? Gia Vowel, Mank Beko. This is not a strange name. The question is this: is those 13 men were the only people who
let me answer that. That is why we are here. When we say atonement, we are not saying atone for only 13, and Mr. Tule made it clear. He said those who lost their lives and those who, he said hundreds of thousands of them. So it wasn't only 13. So it's not only 13 men here. We are not doing this to say 13 family versus everybody else. No, atonement means everybody.
Okay. What a crock. They are building this on the beach. The beaches that Liberians use for toilets when there are still almost no public toilets or bathhouses in the city. The International Committee or whoever is backing this is laughing all the way to the bank with their silliness.
No,
Francis C. Wilson.
Yeah, but let's answer that. The good thing about the park has several bathroom facilities, public toilet, public facilities, enough for, they say, thousands of folks. So that would be maybe 6 or 7 bathrooms on each side of the place. So we are not saying this particular thing will solve all of our sanitary problems, but a great part we have restroom, and that is the start. So I mean, we can't eat this elephant whole. Let's go to, if there's no other comment, the George Toto, that's my buddy. George, how do you reconcile the pain the natives endure during the American rule? George Toto, you go ahead and answer that.
Well, Georgie, the reality is the pain, it was real, but it's in the past. There's nothing to reconcile about it. Come
on, George.
Hold on. You asked me a question, let me answer that so you can get my complete thought.
Yeah, please.
What I'm saying, what am I saying here is this: we cannot remain at that spot. We got to move forward. Going back to that pain is almost like reigniting the Native Congo divide, the Native Congo argument, and I don't like to go there. The pain was real. The pain was real and everything, but we have moved. Tobo, that's why I said when Tobo became president, he did a lot to attune. You see, back to my point. He did a lot to atone for the excesses and the abuses of the past.
Yeah, but George Tudor, let's listen to what George Tudor is saying. And those of us that come from the social science background again, we are talking when the issues are not thoroughly addressed and discussed and reconciled, it will keep repeating itself.
No, but you said they should build a house.
Someone like you who said we shouldn't talk about it, conflict.
No, I'm not saying don't talk about it.
It is real. We have to discuss it and move on. Let's move to the next one.
All right, exactly. The beaches are where plaques prevail. Jerome Gilman, you are talking, nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
No country uses prime real estate for museums and gyms. Grow up, man. No, but that place is government land. What you do, you can't give it to anybody to build anywhere there. Not for the place is government land. It's right behind the BTC. And there is nobody, they're not going to allow anybody, and that's why I asked him, it's right on the beach, and they're not going to allow any foreign developer to go there. It's not because it's military place that have been
Mieta, I know who you are. You and I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. We sat on the community meeting, we got the planning board, and this is how they decide if a land, like you said, city land, something marshland where they know that it will benefit the common good, that will bring everybody together. and this would be better than building a hotel or building.
Okay, Mr. Gibbon, let me ask you a question. What if they put up? What if they have lobby for a library, or real state of the art library that can sit 10,000 persons?
Same thing. But the idea here
is it's not Simo.
No. Listen to this. Library serve the common good for those who are into that. But when you're having a public park,
it's necessary too.
Yes, all of these are all for the common good. Go to Mr. Becko again. Menk, is that Menk? Is that the people real?
No, I don't know. It could be an abbreviation of his real name, but come over and speak your mind. If any government builds anything for 13 men in that place, could move ahead. We'll not destroy anything, bro. We won't do it.
We want to discuss that. We want to make it clear. This is not in commemoration of 13 men. This is in commemoration of all those who lost their lives and they were
okay. All right. To attune is to build a state monument in honor of those men that lost their lives over the decades pertaining to our political debacle. Dualu Thomas. The reality is this: to attune, building plaques and memorials and monuments are not. They are acts of acknowledgement, but not real attunement. Real attunement is looking at the issue that led to the catastrophe and taking steps and actions to either mitigate or to.
This is one of the ways to do that. Now let's go back to
no, it's not a mean way. It's not a very tangible way.
You got your if you were president,
you're not selling it. You know what I'm talking about it now. You go to Liberia, it's dead. We're not talking about attunement.
Well, because
Alex Jones, excellent point. George Weah can't use someone else's head to think for him. The man is academically and intellectually challenged. He's slow. What part of Liberian people don't understand? Ask me.
Alex Jones, you see, it is people like you and myself. This is why we have problems in Liberia. When we put our foot on the ground, the folk tell us that we don't belong there because we are always the know-it-all. We know everything. Francis Wilson here. Until Liberia starts to think country instead of tribe and party, you will continue to go nowhere with steroids. I guess. Toby, come on, George Tule. Kanga needs to do more like what Gimme is saying. She and Dylan will propose a bill to denounce the bogus 30,000 and other incidents.
Okay, Mr. Gimme, I think that will be enough for the comments because I wanted to bring an issue like an addendum before we leave.
Okay, let's do it real quick.
It's very important. The consistent issue, the persistent issue of auditors going missing in Liberia.
What do you mean persistent issue of auditors?
Okay, it started first with Matthew Innes, all right? And Matthew Innes was detailed. Hold on. You asked a question. Don't.
Matthew Innes an auditor?
He was an auditor.
No, he wasn't.
He was in the bank, but he was responsible for a particular. Yes, he was internal. He was internal.
He was a driver.
Matthew Innes.
Yes.
At the Central Bank of Liberia.
Yes.
He was a driver.
Matthew Innes was not an auditor. Now let's move to the next one.
No. We're not moving.
Was Matthew Innes an auditor?
He was in the Central Bank. He was detailed to control a particular account. And that account, hold on. Don't. No. I had the facts. The man wasn't a driver. How can you look at me and tell me Matthew Innes was a driver?
He was not an auditor.
Driver where?
He was not an auditor.
He was a driver at the Central Bank of Liberia.
He was not an auditor.
No. You said he was a driver.
I said he might as well be a driver. He was a driver.
He was a driver at the Central Bank of Liberia.
Yes. Was it an auditor?
Yes, he was.
He was an auditor. Matthew Innes was an auditor.
Okay, what was his position?
What that has to do with what we're doing here?
But you get. I want to say one thing. You jump because anytime anybody will say anything that goes towards Twe and McGill, you change into a caricature. You metamorphose into something strange.
Because you are not factual.
But I'm being factual.
Matthew Innes.
Hold on, please. Even if you know what, even if I'm not being factual, let me learn my premise. Then you can come up with your correction, your rebuttal, please. Otherwise, we'll just do this and our time will go.
We got 5 minutes. Let's
okay,
go.
Yeah. Then so this argument doesn't help the timing.
But you
Matthew Innes had a response. Hey, my man, can you give me a chance? Matthew Innes had a responsibility at the Central Bank of Liberia. And that responsibility was oversight in terms of all the documentary evidence that came out of Twer's office with the expenditure of the $25 million that Twer took from the Central Bank for whatever harmonization, whatever he was doing out there to buy Liberian dollars from the streets. There were issues that evolved out of that. Matthew Innes asked questions. He died. Who stood to benefit the most from the death of Matthew Innes would be the first question investigators will ask. This man has a responsibility in the Central Bank of Liberia. They will look at what case, what account is he managing? Who is responsible for the expenditure or the disbursement of that account? What reports did he generate? They will check his computer, they will check his hard drive, they will check everything to find out what he did, all his communication, who he was talking to find out what he said to somebody that may have led to his demise. That's the first thing. Then we know about Gifty and Peters. Their bodies were discovered half naked on Broad Street. They were responsible for checking an LRA Ministry of Finance account even though they were auditors at the LRA, they were investigating, they were supposed to check a particular account that was established at the Central Bank of Liberia that revenue paid into government account was going into. And the person, one of the signatories to that account, or the various signatories were the Petre, Samuel Twer, and Thomas Nando. They were the ones that had control over that account. Gifty and Peters had the right to. They were investigating that account when they died. They turned up dead. Wait, hold on. I'm rushing. I'm not even giving anything. So be patient.
No, but
we look at Yiswa. The head of the IAA. Yiswa fell down from his house. A man who built his house, he fell down from up Bossy here. He died under mysterious circumstances. He was a sub-cabinet member of the government of Liberia. We haven't heard any pimp from the president of the Republic of Liberia regarding that situation. He never spoke about it. A man who runs an autonomous agency died in mysterious circumstances. The president said nothing. Then we look at this last guy. This same guy is getting heading is this. He was detailed to work on the same account that Gifty and Peter were working on. The guy who just died, the same old guy, he was working on the same account that Tomanado, Twer, and whoever is at the ministry, is at the Central Bank of Liberia, that they have purview over. The same guy who just died was doing the same work that Gifty and Peters were doing, and he disappeared again. Nobody has seen or heard from him. You in the West, isn't it something that investigators will look into? Who are they investigating as auditors that is causing them to turn up dead?
Okay.
Who stand the most to benefit from their death?
So, Mr. Tule, that's another discussion. We will discuss it the next time around.
You know the reason why I'm bringing it up? Because that's our discussion for next week. Is our
beautiful
for next week.
Beautiful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to remind you of real important information, at 6 o'clock right here on Focus on Liberia, our buddy and the CEO of Focus on Liberia will be interviewing the retired Bishop John G. Innes, and they will be talking on issues, the role of the church and other faiths in secular Liberia, the church on social and political issues and more. And Bishop Dr. Innes is ready. Dennis Jai is ready. It's going to be an interesting, and I can't wait. I'm going to sit here and wait to listen and learn a lot from Dr. Innes, his association, his leadership in the United Methodist Church, his retirement, his leadership in the education system, how he led and where he came from, how he rose from the village in Grand Bassa somewhere to always being Bishop of the United Methodist. You're a very interesting individual, very powerful interview. You're going to love this. So tune in at 6 o'clock. Mr. Tula, you got, we're going to do 2 minutes each here to close. Let's do this so Honorable Jai or CEO Jai can begin the preparation to interview.
All right. I don't know, because we didn't have our backroom people today, so we could not take calls.
Yes.
Please, our listeners, Sunday, we promise exactly at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, we will open the phone lines to take calls, because it's very important that we interact with you guys on a daily basis. We'll take, every time we are here, we'll be here again 4 o'clock on Sunday. And we want to encourage you to call in to get ready. You will get our phone number so that you will call, and then the backroom people will put you through, and you will make your points or ask your questions or whatever. As usual, it's been nice, having you in our company. We can finish talking Liberian issue one day. What is obtaining in Liberty Party is not unique. The entire culture in Liberia is corrupt. The entire culture in Liberia has to change. And one of the most frustrating thing about it is that those of us in the West, when we go back home, we perpetuate the same culture of malfeasance and corruption, and we do not become agents of change, because we put our personal pleasures over the pleasure or over the benefit of the majority. Consequently, Liberia remains where it is today. It's not going anywhere, and coupled with bad leadership, both at the legislature and at even the courts. And then when you look at the executive, it's even worse, right? It's partisan. It's basically divorced from the people. They sit in the air-conditioned cars. They have their security, everything. So the pain and the suffering, the common man doesn't affect. You see, one of the things, George Weah lives on the Ralphie Highway. The fact that when George Weah is going home, he doesn't have to sit and hold up. The convoy comes at 500,000 miles per hour, and he goes through, so he doesn't feel and he doesn't see the pain.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't feel the pain and the suffering of the Liberian people. So as a result, because he doesn't experience traffic, so he doesn't know that Congo Town, when they were building Congo Town, Madam Sedishu had thought about it and say, oh, if we put in ministries here, maybe we bring in 20,000 or 10,000 cars here. Those cars have to go in and out of traffic. How are we going to address that problem? Even the Chinese people and the Liberian engineers that were doing it, why did they not think about it? Or maybe they thought about it and Madam said he dismissed it, so that the traffic will be there forever. Because when you got 5, 6, 10,000 cars entering traffic from a particular place at key hours, whether they're going or coming in the morning or going, it creates serious traffic situation. And all day those are ministries, people going out. So what we hope to see in all these dialogues, the reason why I come and sit here, is not just to mouth issues, but to create awareness, to bring about the salient understanding of issues, because Liberian people need to know how things work. We need to know what happened in the past that lends credence to some of our actions today, and how to take mitigating steps so that the things of the past do not affect the future. And how can we do that? We have to have a dialogue. And these are, for me, this is my own contribution to some of those things, that we discuss these things, avoid of sentiments, and we look at it and we might say things that are right, we might say things that are wrong, but guess what? In the midst of everything, we have pure intent here. I don't want to discredit anybody, but I will say it as it is. Because I can tell anybody that if Chad Bromsky had become president of Liberia, he would have heard from me. It's as simple as that. You either do what's right for the Liberian people, or, the only reason why you see me sometimes, I will defend someone like Dillon when he comes under attack by what's his name, my big papa here, Jerome Gaiman, is because I always say, how can you support George Weah and then you castigate Dillon? So that is my conclusion today. We all need to know that Liberia first.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tule. You are great. You are a great defender of Liberty Party. And like I said to everybody, we come to these debates with our passion, our love for our party, and for our country. We're doing it, and I have to plead guilty here because when I was home in 2004, heading into 2005, Jack Klein asked me if I was willing or ready to come back home to Liberia to work or to make my contribution. I told him I couldn't because my wife was pregnant with twins at the time. I couldn't do it. And just recently when I went home, nobody asked me in particular, but was I willing to come home? My girls, my twin girls are now 15. They're going to be 16 next month. And I just do not have the guts to leave my girls while they are in high school. They were not happy. I don't care how much they pay me. I love my family. I love my girls. I told everybody, once the girls get out of school 2023, 2024, I may come to Liberia to do something, but my girls are very important to me. So it boils down to this, what the Bassa people say. If you are a hunter and you live in a town and you rely on goats, your strong goats, and you rely on your strong dogs, the hound dogs that are capable of bringing down a buffalo. And if those dogs are not around and you want to go to hunt, sometimes you use the goat to scare the animals to come out so you can whack it on the side of the head. Those are who sit here and we are castigating, we are condemning, we are doing all of these things, but we are not willing and ready to make a commitment to sacrifice. And I'm one of those. I am not willing to sacrifice my family, and I'm being paid very well for what I do, to sacrifice my salary, my comfort, my family, to go to Liberia. Now, I am not willing and I'm ready to do that. So I cannot totally say that they are so inept when I'm here and I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. So I'm saying to those who are doing their best, it is my job to encourage, to support, to mobilize resources to as much as I can to build the capacity. Until then, we say, Mother Liberia, we love you. We do this in love and jest. Let's work together. Liberia has a long way to go, but our future is greater than our past. God bless you. Stay tuned for that great interview that's coming with Dr. Innes and Dennis Jah. And as always, we say, no matter what we say or do, we are all Liberian. See you next Sunday, same time, same time.
We are Liberian. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.